Well, today we're gonna look at more at animations, and I'm gonna do a review. That's all we did last class, so you kind of refresh your memory on how to do the animations, and then I'm gonna have you incorporate that into your Super Mario Brothers or your Asteroids game with your choice, and you'll put multiple animations in there. For example, if a ship gets hit by a rock, what could you have it do? Yeah, an explosion type animation. Um, Let me see if I can find a sprite sheet for explosion. This might not be too bad. Not that it's great graphics, but it looks like it'd be easy for me to work with. So what I entered in is I entered in explosion, animation, and then sprite sheet. I like these one with the boxes. Then you can see exactly where that is instead of guessing. Yeah, it's probably good as any. Okay, so I'm gonna right click on this and say save image as, and now over here I'm gonna right click down here in assets, and I'm gonna say import new asset. And I'll bring in an explosion. Import. Now, while this is down here in assets, if I come over here to the inspector, remember it's a sprite and it's currently set as a single. So if you do the drop down, you can choose multiple. Going too fast or
My Unity's still loading up.
you what?
My Unity's loading up.
Oh, still loading up. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
wait for a second. Okay. So then I'll go over after I what I did is I this is sprite. You click on this explosion down here or whatever image you have. You choose your multiple. Then you click sprite editor. And you can click apply there. why this one looked so perfect to me is it looked like I could easily split this up. Might be a false statement. Choose slice, and I'm going to choose by cell count. And there's 5 columns. And there's 5 rows. I'm going to go ahead and click slice then. And let me look at these.
Automatic did pretty good.
Did automatic work pretty good? It's a good thing, Jonathan, you weren't here last class. It was pitiful because I couldn't cut them quite perfect. Okay, yeah. So automatic or that would should work on that. And then you click apply up here, and then you can close that. Now, if you click the little arrow next to this, you'll see all of them out there. Now, if I take the explosion 0 here, and I can drop it up here in a sample scene, I'll make it a little bit bigger so I can see it. Got that. We'll go ahead and collapse that. Now, if I got this selected here, hopefully I can remember all the steps today. If I click Add Component and choose Animator. So I apply as an animator to that image we dropped up there. The image is off of our sprite sheet. Now I'm going to right click down here in the gray area in the assets and choose Create. And we want to choose a controller, so Animation Controller. And I'll call this Explosion _ AC. I'm also going to right click down here and say Create. Do I have to have anything selected? No. Create Animation. I'll call that an explosion loop. Now up here in our hierarchy, if I choose the image, the controller needs to be set. So you can drag this and drop it over here in the controller. That's one way. Or you click this option to the right of it and choose Explosion Controller. Now if I double click the Explosion AC here, you have to make sure you select the Explosion 0 up here, and then you take your explosion loop and drag and drop it here. That's part I think I keep forgetting each time. I don't select this when I drop that on there. And then Control 6 to bring up the animation window. And if you expand the explosion images, you can hold on your Shift key after you select your first one and have it go to your end one, or however many you want. That's what we looked at last time. Last time we didn't choose all the images. You can select whichever ones you want. You can do a Control and hold down and select ones that are not next to each other. I selected the first one, and then I held down my the scroll down, held on my shift key, and I selected my last one. And then you can drag those and drop them up here in the animation window. Now up here, if I go to my scene like that, and then I play it, then that shows me my explosion. Now you can this samples here that says 60. You can change that to a different value to get it to not be so fast, like 6. And now if I play it, then you see your explosion there. So that'd be something you could have appear, and you can play it when you have a collision. Is that good on that? Now I realize this is just explosion 0. A lot of different ways you could handle having it appear on your screen. A very easy way is to just have this over on the side, like that. That's probably the very quickest way. And then have your ship here. And when your ship experiences a collision, assuming we're talking about asteroids, then you can reposition this. Does that make sense? And you could reposition your ship over here. And how you do that is just with that position here. You can drop on multiple animations. For example, if I wanted what if I get a tree sprite sheet. The tree, yeah, should be in the middle of the. Alien. Let me choose alien. There you go. Alien ship. I think actually in asteroids, I think the UFO appears every once in a while. How about spaceship? This one might work. Oh, that one looks good. Assuming the images actually change. See, I'm looking for something that actually changes. Does that look like any changes in that? It's like, why would you have a sprite sheet where it doesn't change? The idea of a sprite sheet is it changes. Nothing there. Sometimes change is so subtle. This one definitely would have change. Almost looks like different sizes though, doesn't it?
So, if we were different animations like a ship, could you have it do it like in random sequences?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can drop those in whatever order you want. See, like, actually, let me do, I found one. So I'm gonna drop this and I just typed in spaceship sprite sheet, and we'll try to do it in a different order here. So I'm gonna save that. I was really looking for a UFO that like changed, as it went across the screen type of deal. So save images as spaceship PNG. Okay, so right click, choose import new asset, spaceship. I'm going to come over here, choose multiple, choose sprite editor, click apply. Let's see, automatic. I bet, like you said, it'll probably work. Yeah, that's. Or would have worked fine if I hadn't moved it. Let's try it again. Slice. Yeah, it should be fine. It's such a radical change anyway that even if it's off a little bit, it would be fine. Okay, so I click apply, close that. Now if I expand this, you see I have my 4 images. I need to drop one of those images on my my form, and it's kind of whichever one you want to be the kind of the default one to appear. And increase the size of that so we can actually see it. Now, now that I have spaceship selected up here, I want to add component, and I want to choose an animator. So you have to drop an animator onto the to the game object here. Now down here, I'm going to collapse that. I need another controller. So I'm going to right click on this, choose create animation controller. I'll call that spaceship AC. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and drop on a animation too. So do a create animation. Spaceship loop. Now you don't have to have them loop. This right here, if I set the loop time, if I do that check there, it'll loop. my explosion won't loop because I didn't check that. Okay, so now if I go to my spaceship controller, like this, and I'm going to choose my spaceship. I bet I got the order wrong in this because I need to drop the controller on there first. Might not matter, but just be on the safe side. Got my spaceship selected here. I'll drop my spaceship AC onto the controller over here. Now, if my spaceship selected, if I hold down this spaceship loop, my actual animation, and drag it up here, that creates a connection. Now, if I do a Control 6, brings up our animation window. I expand my ship. If I drag and drop that one up there, you see we got that one. If I drag spaceship 2 and drag it up there. Now you see how I can even control where it's at. And then spaceship 1, drag it up there. And spaceship 3. In theory, you could even drag it again and drop it up there. Now if I come back here to the scene, if I play that, you see it flips around. I can change the sampling to 6 so it's a little bit slower. or samples, I mean. It's a little bit too slow, maybe. What I was looking for, if you're wondering, well, why do you want a tree? A tree really, like a tree that blows in the wind, that kind of blows around. I thought about having that up in the corner, showing that, so it'd be changing all the time. You could have neon, flashing, up at the top. Your animation could be anything that changes. Okay, so I'll stop that. Set that maybe to 30. It's a little bit too fast. 20. It doesn't rotate, does it? Because of the order I did it. But yeah, this just demonstrates you can do it in whatever order you want. You got complete control over it. And this window isn't just to drop it on here either. See how I can grab one of them and move it? I can even change the order there. There is better. Even though I had moved these, my ending was still clear over there. That's why there was so much dead space in between. So again, you can adjust this so it'll go there before it restarts the animation. We'll be looking more of these in the future. Does that make sense on the animation? What I want you to do then is go and change your it's your choice, your Super Mario Brothers or your asteroids, and put two animations in. Kind of your choice on what you want to do there.